Back to Recoup. Today is Monday, December 1st, first day of December, 2025. I'm Sweets. This is Sid. This is our Monday call where we talk about what we're going to be doing this week. We were kind of offline last week for Thanksgiving. Sid, do you have anywhere you want to kick us off with? If not, I'll talk about X402 stuff. So
yeah, go ahead. Let's just start there.
Okay. So X402 is up and running. We have a proof of concept for Recoup. So if you look on X402 scan, we are live. I have a sorted by 24-hour volume. And Sid, where do you think Recoup lives in all of X402 volume for the past 24 hours?
I have no idea.
Give us a number of a rank out of 100.
100.
Number 100. So this is page 1 of 10. So this is 10, 20. There's Recoup at 21, 2, 3, 4. Recoup is number 24, earning $3.50 over the past 24 hours. You can see we have had 210 transactions, and we can click in and then see what Recoup looks like. We've got our X402 endpoint, so I can say a tuxedo cat playing the trumpet in Renaissance style. I misspelled Renaissance. For now, we're only charging a penny, but I want to increase that to the actual amount that we spend. You approve, no gas gets spent, and then it generates. You might say, Sid might say, well, our customers don't have a crypto wallet. They don't want to know that they're doing X402 stuff. That's great. So then you just go to a Recoup API.vercel.app/API/image/generate. You pass in a prompt, you pass in an account ID, and then you don't need to sign anything. We have two different routes now. So we have our normal route, which is /API and then image generate. And then our X402, which is the same thing with an X402 before the route. So the image generate is still there. We just pass X402 before. This route, the non-X402 route, behind the scenes calls X402. So without even knowing about it, we invisibly behind the scenes call X402. Here we got our kitty image in Renaissance styling using Nano Banana Pro, the latest AI model from Google. Then we have image. Here's the response, not using X402 directly, using it more indirectly. Should be a very similar image. And then this is not in Renaissance styling. And then you can also, this has already been updated on chat.recoupable.com. So if you go on to Recoupable and you say the same thing, generate an image, it is going to do the same thing. It's using the API, which then uses X402. So the front end client is now using an image of a tuxedo cat playing the trumpet in space. As long as this does not use the Nano Banana tool, this is going to generate it. So what I'm focused on right now is migrating our API from our own hosted infrastructure on DigitalOcean over to Next.js. Over a year ago, the reason we built our own infrastructure is we were doing this 360 wrapped literally a year ago, and we needed to run programs that took longer than Vercel's timeout. Why would we move to Next if that could still be a thing? Well, now we've discovered this new tool called trigger.dev, which can run as long as we want. It's another thing that we don't need to host, don't need to maintain, don't worry about scaling. So we can offload our long-running tasks to trigger.dev. Next.js scales well. And what was the squeaky wheel that caused this is I added evals back in. And when I added evals in, we were DDoSing our own API and causing our API to crash with the catalog endpoint that needed to hit our catalog and paginate through everything 1,000 times. And so rather than me try to think through how are we going to scale this, why don't we just build on Vercel? They've already figured out how to scale. And so I'm slowly migrating all of our endpoints back. The goal to know when this is done is instead of this being recoupai.vercel.app, I migrate the domain so that it's api.recoupable.com is here, and all the front end will then be hitting it. It's trying to hit the Nano Banana, but the second one, hopefully, there's a little error I do need to figure out why it's doing. I've been seeing it saying not found recently. And with that, I will pass it over to Sid. Any questions or feedback, or do you want to talk about what you're working on? How do you want to navigate the rest of this call?
navigate this call on what you were just talking about. When, what is the goal by Friday for this sprint?
API.recoupable.com points to the Vercel API. We no longer run the DigitalOcean. We can shut down the DigitalOcean server. So one less thing that is being expensed to the company. The front end is hitting the same endpoints and nothing is broken.
Got it. In that, I've seen that you've been cleaning up a lot of the code too as you're going through and doing this, which is awesome. Is there any code that you are not sure that you should be throwing away? Is there anything like, I like the idea of, as you're doing this, cleaning things up. I think it's a good idea. Although I do also understand that there was like features that we've started, half done, half implemented, never fully baked out or whatever, that may still be in the code base that could add value or could not. So like, how are you thinking through what to delete and what to save and tracking all of that, keeping track of that mentally so that I can also help if you're like not going to, if you're going to keep a feature, but you're not going to work on a feature?
Yeah, so far I've been going through the docs.recoupable.com, and I'm trying to just take the API endpoints one at a time that are listed in our docs, because that's what if anyone's building on our API, they're using. And anything that's not listed in the docs, so get through the docs first, move that over. Your question was, how do I know what to keep and what to throw out?
Yeah, or
ideally, I focus on moving the things over that are listed in the docs and are used on the front end. And then anything else that is over there, I'm going to assume nobody's using it. And so everything that's in the DigitalOcean repo, just all the stuff about running all these agents in parallel, this concept of an agent we had a year ago, all that just kind of goes in the trash because we've moved over to a new boat and the old boat just sails off into the sunset. The one thing that I'm focused on right now is we have 3 image generate tools: Generate Image, Nano Banana Generate Image, and Nano Banana Edit. I've been trying to figure out how to use AI Gateway to edit an image, and so far I haven't figured it out. So I'm leaning towards getting rid of the Nano Banana Generate Image tool and renaming Nano Banana Edit to just Edit Image, continuing to use Fal AI for the editing tool until I can figure out how to get editing of images with the AI Gateway.
So I have another repo that I started that I solved this problem, which I will share with you. It's in Recoupable GitHub called Template Chat, where I've just been using it as a place to like see what, like you just said, we have our boat being built. And so I wanted to get the latest boat and see what we're missing. And then see like, well, if we just built a new boat, how much fat, like, you know, and then pulled things from there where we did. So like, I've been doing things like literally letting an agent run and make us SOC 2 compliant, give us enterprise accounts, run, et cetera. So like been playing around with that. I'll give you access to that. In that one, I have the ability, I have one tool for edit images that can create and edit images, but you can select any of the image models that Vercel offers. What it does is it sends, if an image has been generated, it automatically attaches that image to the new call and treats it as like an edit this. It also gives the user the ability to X that as context if they don't want to use that. So I'll send you that to kind of see the front end and see what it is. I'll add you as soon as we get off this call. But that's something that I've been playing around with. It's like we have like, it's basically like the most recent Vercel chatbot template. I also added, what is the thing you sent for file management and storage and levers? I added Composio. I added like all of the tools that like we've been adding and half playing around with to it. So just going to start seeing like, maybe is it smarter to just start from a more modern architecture and just bring all of our stuff over there or not. I haven't decided yet, but it also gets rid of all of like the tooling that we haven't used, etc. I will say I talked to a couple people earlier last week and this week. Just now I had a call, and the fan scraping that we had originally started with,
the segment stuff,
has been come up a couple times of people wanting to use that as an API tool. Now, the reason why we didn't use it or fully build that out is because like it was just very costly to scrape 30 million fucking people, followers. But the people that I'm talking to about it, they are using, they're building like subsections of fan communities, and so like it would be more so like. Anyways, I say all of it because like we don't want to delete that. We want to make that into an endpoint and let people choose how much they want to spend on it. Like, but it's a good offering. I've also gotten a couple requests for SyncStream over the last 2 weeks. So we might want to think about refactoring that into an offering inside Recoupable's APIs as well. So like we are giving, like there's so much things that you built last year, Sweets. I'm also thinking through like the agent oh my God, what'd you spin up? Create experiences from the chat so that like musicians can create LinkedIn's and et cetera, things like that. Like we built that. We never actually figured out the infrastructure to like let users use it, but like that all that infrastructure exists. You built a fucking call bot that like calls a user. That it exists, but it's just not implemented. So I think as you're doing this refactor, get reminding yourself and familiarizing yourself with, oh yeah, we did that. How can I add that to the API endpoint? How can I start bringing the stuff that we never fully used but would be valuable to an API endpoint, and then at 402 eventually. All right, cool. I know you're at time. The other thing I was thinking through, and I just want to leave you with, is this thought of like I'm building out this. I've been playing around with like, as we build out our system, refactoring artists into workspaces, and how deep do I want to go down that rabbit hole of a refactor? I'm going to start with just removing the need to have an artist selected, and I'm also going to remove the need to automatically create new artist when you click the button. So it gives them the ability to, if you want to create a new artist, you can run that agent, or you can just like rename your own workspace, a record label or something else, and not auto run and create knowledge base, etc. Like simple, that's the kind of first step. But then I started to go down a rabbit hole of thinking like, well, how can you add more value to people using X402 or other third-party tools? And something that you brought up the other day, which was really interesting, which is like, why not just make every workspace an MCP server? And then that way, like I keep thinking to like, some of our customers who like want to be able to call agents or grab information from Recoupable when their AI platform doesn't have those tools set up. And then I'm thinking like, well, what would be like the dopest is like, not only are you calling our tools, but like we are also, if you include in the workspace ID or the artist ID, it comes with all of the context included, the images, the instructions, and then what would be the most valuable would be like if you just called an MCP server that included all of that shit instead of all of these 1,000 API endpoints that you'd have to like do. So like that's something I've been thinking about, and obviously it's like a bigger lift, but like it would also like future forward the way that we're delivering our services 10 times. Like it would be like, nobody else knows. So anyways, that's my thought is like, do we create workspaces? Do we turn workspaces into MCP servers that then the AI tool calls, which then abstracts the need for the user to select an artist? They can select an artist or a workspace, but they can also be like, go check out all of my workspaces and then give me like information on like who's growing the fastest. And like, you'll be able to call workspaces like tools and not need to have them selected in order to get value from them. All right, I know we're at 3, so I'll leave you at that. Thank you everybody for watching.